Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays a Binding of Isaac AFTERBIRTH Plus. Last run, it's always a treat when you get D100 early. What on earth is happening here? Okay, full health. 9V X7 7MJ3. You probably don't need me to tell you this. This is both a great and a heinous run. There's a galaxy brain churning up inside of me. I can't talk to my mama, so I talk to my diary. What does the galaxy brain say? Well, it says you got lost or missing poster. What do you do with missing poster? Die on a self-sacrifice room and come back to life as the lost. Okay, cool. How do we do that productively? Well, we could do it, hear me out here, by getting a cube of meat. But is it worth doing? No, but maybe is the more complicated answer. And why even say maybe? Well, I'll tell you why. If we have Holy Mantle, I love playing the Lost. But just taking the Lost is too easy. Finding a very roundabout way to maybe become the Lost is fine. So if we get Holy Mantle, I don't even think it's necessarily a bad strategic choice. If we don't get Holy Mantle, it's basically certain death. But let's not worry about it until we figure out whether or not we're even going to have the chance to get... Hold on. The chance to get it to begin with. Well, I hate this. I hate it way more now. In fact, one of the things I was going to mention is like a big positive for the run. Oh, jeez. Is the fact that we had a nice DPS for a starting run. Or for the start of a run, I should say. No longer would I suggest that that's the case. Still a bit touchy here. 4.06 damage is still good. And to be real, like 12 rate of fire is not bad enough to give up, of course, but it's not particularly good. It's a bit of a weird one still. Because like the idea is we could have taken that after we maybe died, but again, if we die and come back as the Lost, we're not going to do anything with HP regardless. So I think we're just happy to have 2 HP. Be alive a little bit longer, and sure, you know, here's the thing. If you don't want to take, if you don't want to get tears downs out of nowhere, there's a really easy way to get around that. Don't take pills unless you have PhD. Easy enough, right? And what makes you can get pills to never? That's fine. You can get pills to never be bad and only be good, but still not know what they are. It requires Virgo. I haven't thought about that effect of Virgo in a long time. No bombs, sadly. Lots of opportunities to use them, but life goes on. So after getting HP and also some Spirit Hearts, I'm not going to pop Potato Peeler just yet. It is a damage upgrade. I would like to use Potato Peeler, but it's not the right time. It's not the right time now, even though it would give us access to the boss trap room. We have missing poster locked in forever now. Beautiful. Don't even take it yet. It's not the right time. When will it be the right time? After we figure out what the heck's going on with this deal with the devil. Then it's the right time. Tears down. Probably not going to take that. I don't think one-time poison is worth a permanent DPS downgrade. And I don't care who knows it. Yeah, okay, we're good to go. Once we sort this deal with the devil situation out, the whole world becomes so much clearer for us. Like, if there's a too-hard deal with the devil that we want, use Potato Peeler. Might as well get 1 extra cube of meat out of it without causing you any negatives. Dude, synth oil, really great. This time, that's not really how it's working. Certainly we do want Rotten Baby. I don't think we care about the other items, so I don't think there's any point in using Potato Peeler. It'll still be around. You can tell it's eating away at me, the fact that we're not using Potato Peeler yet. as soon as I see a zany thing to do, I'm like, oh, we gotta do it. And I'm very good at convincing myself that it's the right thing to do, even if it makes no sense. I can talk myself into thinking that it is. I can be, oh, yeah, what we gotta do is find just the right situation, and then you leverage it for twice as much advantage, and there you go. But maybe twice as much advantage is still bad. Or still worse than, oh, you shouldn't have taken it yet. Now we can use it to get into the boss trap room, and it's all come full circle. So yes, I'm gonna do it. Was it worth it? Oh, absolutely, for the Vert pill. That's another Telepills, my friend. I don't know if you're aware, that's an extremely advantageous proposition. Look at that, we just got free shop access. We don't want a second level cube of meat. This is still fine, by the way. I mean, we used potato peeler. The only reason we'd ever be sad that we used potato peeler earlier... See, I'm talking myself into it right now, having already done it. The only reason I'd ever be sad to have used potato peeler earlier is if we don't have the HP to get something from the deal with the devil. But 1 HP is still enough to get whatever we want. As long as what we want is 1 item. You know what? I'm willing, with bombs, I'm willing to take a stab at this. Sure. Didn't work. That's fine. Still a good run. And, you know, beyond being a good run, is just a very, very interesting run. 6 damage, 12 rate of fire, deal with the devil, precedent, rotten baby. All sorts of interesting ifs, ands, or buts. Fate's reward is fine. Haven't always been the most polite to this item, but... in the end, I think it's okay. We're playing a little reckless here, but hear me out. Walk in. Bad gas. Gulp. Gulp's really good, but we can come back and get it later. There's our second cube of meat. So we've already gotten the Meat Boy achievement. I remember because it was recent. I don't know. He might actually give us the chance at bandages. Can that happen? Doesn't appear so. So no deal with the devil. It might be good. Give my hubris a little bit of a cooldown. Second level cube of meat is just okay, but obviously it's not even the funny wrong decision to use potato peeler again. It's just the super bad wrong decision where one mistake ends your life, you know? I would suggest that for right now, even as a joke, probably want to stay away from messing this one up that badly. Great run though. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter, you know, our damage being 6, it's great, but the most important thing is not the number, it's how many shots it takes to kill an enemy, and how quickly we put those shots out. And, you know, right now, we're killing pretty much every enemy in like 2 hits, so with piercing shots, we're clearing rooms real quick. No complaints here. The poop. It's a terrible, terrible, no good spacebar item. Anybody who says that that item has merit is they're trying to, I wouldn't say they're trying to sell you on something, but something's going on. Now there is a self-sacrifice room. So in my heart of hearts, I do look at it and I say to myself, that might be an opportunity for us to use potato peeler constructively. 3rd or 4th level Meat Boy, but I don't want to become lost. Well, I don't know. Let's see what we get in here. We might change our tune before I say something I'll regret. Dude, we definitely want to go to a shop. Oh, no! That was my chance to double my money. I've been waiting on that forever. How dare you? Secret room? Such bad timing. But also pretty funny, so I'll allow it. I want to see if there's a special room down here. We're actually, like, the run is quite good. I would love a tiers upgrade, but it's quite good in and of itself. We didn't go to our shop. Okay, so we got something to glean there. Certainly don't care about the poop. I don't know. Do I want to use potato peeler? Probably not, because we have a deal with the devil coming up. Presumably a good chance for it on the next floor. You know what? No, I'm not willing to use my money to buy a question mark. Our question marks have Throwing us for a little bit of a loop here. Allow me to hydrate. Caves 2. Ahead of schedule. And remember, like on a broad sense, we got a couple of things on the go right now. One of those things is, you know, completing the save file. Number one thing on the menu right now is probably a... Something's wrong. It's probably a 999-cent donation to the donation machine. Oh, thank God. I hate this room. We're like 130 cents away, so the 2 of diamonds would have been helpful, but, you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we get it on this run, or the next run, or 20 runs from now, or the 100 runs from now. You know, we know we're going to get it. And we're not racing till the end of the game or anything like that, so I'm doing whatever's comfortable for the most part. I could be a little bit better, and there's another opportunity there, but I could be a little bit better about using Acid Baby, like in the way that we used it on this room, to be honest with you. Actually getting a little bit of damage out of it. It seems like I'm losing my mind, but I'm just being honest. I think this run is really good. It's just kind of locked away. It's like, you know, the classic teen movie archetype is like, hey, everybody, let's make fun of the nerdy girl. And then, like, later in the movie, the nerdy girl takes off her glasses and puts down her hair from her ponytail, and everyone's like, oh my God, she's actually hot. And you're like, yeah, no kidding. She's played by an ex-model. It's like you didn't even read the casting decisions. Either of these items are fun. Satanic Bible is probably less fun, but better. And we're immediately going to go to that 3rd level Meat Boy. Why? We should be able to get enough to get a deal with the devil regardless. And I want that 3rd level Meat Boy. That's like this run right now. The potential of this run is very apparent. If we can get a Tears upgrade, it's all going to come together. We don't need Guppy. We don't need a 4th level Meat Boy. It's all going to come together. We just need, you know, one of 2 or 3 items that could finish it for us. By the way, this is not enough HP to take a deal with the devil. Should have walked around a little bit more. I had a little bit of a brain fart there. For some reason, I was like, yeah, when we fight the boss, we'll get a battery charge. I guess I didn't expect the floor to be over so quickly. From a room perspective, we've gone through a lot of rooms, but we haven't spent a lot of time on the floor. So, the range upgrade is not a good get. And again, Krampus is not a bad get. Sometimes... Oh, I walked right into it. Sometimes you make a mistake like I did, and then Krampus is actually a pretty nice thing for you. Now, he didn't give me lump of coal. So, actually, he's a bully, and I hate him. Try for a black card. Well, we'd never want to speed down. Really hoping for an error room there. But we win. And I know that seems like it has hubris. I'm not trying to be disgracious. But sincerely, it's not that we can't lose. It's just that we won't lose. Mostly just based on the fact that we have Satanic Bible. Arguably maybe the best defensive item in the game. Yes, even ahead of Book of the Dead, which was fantastic for us recently. So we're out. I could probably be convinced to stick with Doctor's Remote for the time being. Or, no, it is not Doctor's Remote. What is this called? Remote Joystick? Hold on. Never know. There's 500 items in this game. Broken Remote. There you go. Some combination of words roughly related to the function of the item and lack thereof. Question marks. I do see that tinted rock. Oh, it's a Tears upgrade. Okay. Oh, so we got the glasses off. Now it's time to put the hair down. No, thank you. Still could use a little offensive punch. piercing shots masks the fact that our damage is, I think that would have gotten it. It masks the fact that our damage is not that good, but our killing power is really effective right now. So a small rock, you know, I wouldn't say no to it. Probably wouldn't. I would say no to this tears downgrade. That's okay. I don't know, as much as we make fun of that archetype, you know? Like the tropey teen movie. I'm okay with this. It'll suck if we get an error room, but... You know, just because it's tropey doesn't mean it's bad. Like, sometimes I've talked about basically this exact same thing before, but one of my least favorite forms of criticism is, quote-unquote, finding plot holes. As if, like, making a movie or even something like a drawing. Sometimes people, they'll look at, like, a drawing... And then they'll draw what it would have to look like, you know, like outside of the frame. Their bodies all contorted in weird ways just to get them posed the way they look in the photo. The thing is, like, it's fiction, you know? And that's not to explain away all plot holes. But I think there's more merit, you know, to a movie, let's say specifically, than just, you know, does it play by its own rules. I think it can be important. Like, one of the examples most commonly cited is, and I won't specifically say any spoilers for it, even though it's been out for years, made over $1 billion worldwide. Everybody that's wanted to see it at this point probably has. Maybe you'll be on an airplane, and it'll be there, and you'll be like, I'll watch it, because it's never been spoiled for me. It's a long trip, unfortunately, but I'm excited to see what we get. Is The Dark Knight Rises. And even when I saw it, despite my attitude about this not being a good way to criticize films, after I saw the movie, I was like, it's pretty good. Like, I liked it. But at the same time, some of the stuff at the end of the movie temporally doesn't seem to make any sense. Another example of a movie where I'm a hypocrite is Prometheus, where I'll go out of my way to be like, it doesn't... That movie offended me when I saw it, because of how stupid everybody in the movie had to be in order for the actual events of the movie to take place. Now that I've seen Alien Covenant a few times, I respect Prometheus more. That being said, I still think it's pretty not good. But either way, I can relent a little bit. 3 room. Well, I hope we didn't lose anything important on the ground. Still got Satanic Bible all the way over there. The reason it annoys me in Prometheus is because... There we go. The reason it annoys me in Prometheus is because we're told multiple times about how smart everyone has to be. Well, no, actually, I have it backwards, and I apologize, because this is a severe misremembering. It's not that everybody's supposed to be smart. It's that it's a mission of incredible importance, but everybody that's brought along... is apparently dispassionate about it, except for, like, the 2 main characters, and then they're all incompetent. You know, it's like sending the worst sailor to find America. Regardless, the reason I dislike it is because it sets out its own rules deliberately and then doesn't play by it. I was going somewhere with this. I forgot where it was, but, I don't think it's a great way to criticize things, is just to realize that they're tropey. If they're played out, that's a different story, you know? If you're like, I've seen this movie 500 times before, and I know what's going to happen, and you call it, that's a different story. I think, at least. How were we able to get the Empress when we have Little Baggy? We don't have starter deck to override it. That's a little weird. I mean, oh well, it's good. It's not even an oh well. Quite the opposite. It's like a oh yay. The #1 worst example is Signs. And I understand why the twist ending of Signs doesn't make sense from a scientific standpoint. But I think you also need to understand that just because the ending is kind of bad it doesn't override the relatively effective tension made through the rest of the movie. But I digress. I've been down this road more times than I'd like to admit. I don't necessarily want to go down it again. Like when I was a kid, I liked those tropey teen movies, including Not Another Teen Movie, which is a parody, but also exhibits the same tropes itself. Also, a very strange movie. It's from the era, you know, of raunchy teen comedies. I don't know how many of those still exist, but you couldn't... I think there's still a lot. I mean, my generation didn't invent them, mostly because, you know, we were 13 when they were being made, so it was the generation that grew up on, like, Animal House that was making them for us to begin with. But, you know, that movie goes into some bizarre places. Not Another Teen Movie. There's incestuous elements. It was definitely from an era where things like mental health was treated a little bit differently. It's bizarrely foreshadowing, because Randy Quaid plays the female lead's father, and he has PTSD from fighting in the Vietnam War and has kind of lost his mind. And then Randy Quaid kind of lost his mind. And just to be nice, I'll, you know, add, or maybe he's the only one who truly still has his mind. But in my head, I'm like, nah, dude. Like, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm trying to be, like, helpful. If he's listening, we care about you, Randy. I'm sure, you know, in your head you're doing fine, but I'm just making sure. So I have no idea where I am, because I keep teleporting. We should probably drop this trinket. Health down, bad trip. It's not a bad combination, because they both become good eventually. That's another health down. We don't need to carry two of them, but it might not be the worst idea. Is this... Okay, we're just going to go to the boss fight. I know we're missing the item room here. It's a bad habit, okay? I'll admit. I'm kind of hoping that, you know, we're paying the price for this trinket right now, but on the next floor, we're going to hit the space bar, get a demon heart, and teleport to our boss fight. And it's going to be a dream come true. Very excited to see our deal with the devil on this floor as well. Has Potato Peeler worked out for us? I wouldn't say it hasn't, you know? Oh, I don't know about the gulp here. That's a lot of commitment. I will take, yeah, we're not going to take Betrayal, but I'm happy we took Black Powder. We have enough speed to make it worthwhile. We could just use the ability to fly. I don't know if we should have picked that up. We do have Polaroid. Oh well. Anyway, everything's fine on this run. It's just... I'm saying everything's fine in like an increasingly harried tone. Because although the run does keep getting better all the time. It's called The Beatles. Look it up, sweetheart. It's still a little ways out from a guaranteed victory. And really, I hate... Wait, that's my skull. Dang it. I've been trying to avoid that skull and hampering my own dodges for no reason. Okay, here's the thing. Send me? I can't see my own HP. At this point, 10 out of 10, I would rather see the map than my own HP. I know, you know, the rules still apply, you know, when you can't see your HP. What do? Try, still very happy to have this, by the way. Verp has been pretty good for us. When you can't see your own HP... I gulped it. What do? Pop quiz. Try not to get hit. When you can't see the map, what do? I don't know, pull out the friggin' graph paper and get started. I would rather rely on my skills in the game than, you know, the hippocampus area of my brain trying to parse together a graphical version of the map inside of my old dome. Not getting hit, easy enough. Mental map, Miss me. Dude, and while we're talking about media, I'm here to tell you, okay? So I read, and I've been talking about it incessantly to the point of derision on the NLSS. I read Albert Camus' The Stranger. I'm sorry it's pronounced that way. I didn't birth him. I would recommend it. Short read, thought-provoking, certainly not for everybody. I read, I keep wanting to call him Shackleton, but his name's Hemingway. I read Hemingway's The Old Man and the Sea. Short, easy read, recommended. You know, lots of themes in that book that I think are very thought-provoking. After that, I said, you know what? I'd like to read something a little bit more stylish. A little bit more. I love sci-fi, believe it or not. You give me the choice between sci-fi and fantasy. I always would like to see what a sci-fi author thinks the future could be like, instead of seeing, like, what a fantasy author wishes the Middle Ages were like. And I understand that's a very offensive way to look at fantasy. I'll admit, I just wanted the pithy one-liner. I'm sorry. That being said, Season 8 Game of Thrones. Anyway, I started reading Aldous Huxley's Brave New World. It's commonly considered one of the best science fiction novels ever written. Not bad, but I would say, you know, if you're giving me a choice, I haven't read 1984 since I was in 11th grade, so that was like, it was probably, I think it was the winter of 2004. So it's been a while. But I really like 1984. I love that book. I read it for class twice. Only had to read it once. Please. Brave New World. It's I don't want to be the guy, okay? Because whenever something's beloved and you go, I don't like it, it just kind of makes you look dumb. But I'm not afraid of looking dumb on the internet. If I were, I would change jobs. If you're looking for a science fiction book to read and you're thinking about Brave New World, I might implore you to perhaps reconsider. Aldous Huxley, BTFO. Oh, please be alive. Let's go. I do not think that it is a bad book, but I do think I'm like, the Kindle app tells you how close you are to the end of the book, which is an awesome feature to have. I'm like 85% of the way through the story, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll just finish it tonight so I can move on to something else. So hit me up with your recommendations, by the way. Originally, I've been going through this thing. I talked about it. I wish I talked about it more on the NLSS, actually, because I thought it was kind of an interesting discussion. Maybe we'll circle back to it one day. Speaking of which, speaking of circling back, lucky me on that one. We were talking about reading. I read all the time as a kid because I didn't have access to media that was more immediately gratifying. And that sounds like books are boring. I don't think that's the case. But sometimes you have to actively sort of work to make yourself entertained when you read a book sometimes. Otherwise, you read a passage and you go, I wasn't really interested in the passage. Then you read mindlessly for like 5 minutes and you realize you remember nothing of the text that you've read despite reading all of the text. You have to actively like work against that and do like a check-in on yourself and be like, was I actually reading that? Did I just cheat till the end of the paragraph and think that there was nothing important there? You know, because it cheapens the experience. You know, you're missing out on potentially valuable stuff there. Anyway. So I read a lot as a kid, and I loved reading, and then I just kind of stopped. You know, it's a lot easier to watch a movie. It doesn't mean it's a lesser form of entertainment. Listen to a lot more music as a teenager. But now that I'm an adult, I'm like, you know, I mean, I don't mean to make fun of myself, but I'm an adult. But you know, I kind of want to read more. The impetus, though, was originally, I've been watching all this Jeopardy, and I've been getting all the book questions wrong, because I haven't read that many novels, especially the classics. You know, this American classic, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, dude, unless I got the Pavlovians, unless they say, like, this beat author, and I'm like, it's Ferlinghetti. And then they buzz in and go, Ferlinghetti, and Alex goes, no, and I go, you dumb idiot, it's Ginsberg. Possibly the least relatable story I've ever told on the show, but those of you who watch a lot of Jeopardy will have laughed there. All 6 of you. But anyway, so I was like, short classics, because I'm embarrassed by not being well-read despite liking to read. So that's how I found The Stranger, and I was like, you know, I liked it a lot. That's how I found The Old Man in the Sea. I liked it a lot. Went right next to Brave New World, and I was like, I don't know about this one. So if you got recommendations in that vein, hit me up. Not just sci-fi, but like something that might be asked on Jeopardy. Well, I want to know the classics because more people have read them. It's easier to talk about them and relate to them. Plus, you know, please put me back. You know, if thousands of people have read them, they can't be wrong. Except about this one. I have to reiterate. I don't actually think that Brave New World is bad. I think it paints an interesting idea of what someone in the 1920s might have thought that the world would look like in the 2400s. But I need a little bit more gas in the novel, I think. I mean, instead, it is said, I should say, it is more story-rich than The Stranger. Where, like, oh, Marbles has appeared in the basement. Achievement unlocked. I don't know, we gulped probably 5 trinkets. We got another gulp as well. I like, you know, again, I don't think that reading, and readers, by the way, if you're out there, I can't really self-identify as an avid reader, given that I just got into it again. But we could do a better job of being a little less smarmy. There are definitely people out there who are like, and there was a very famous quote, oh, who said it? It was somebody that's from it was Shailene Woodley, I think, who was an actress who was in, like, The Fault in Our Stars, and, I don't know, I honestly don't know what else she's in. I've never seen a movie with her in it, which is ironic because of what I'm about to say. But she had a very famous, or at least it went viral when she said it, quote that was like, you know, hey, what's your favorite movies? And she's like, oh, I don't watch movies or TV shows. I read books. Maybe you've heard of them. And I'm like, you know, she's a very successful, basically, young adult. I forgive her the smugness and superiority that she must have felt when she said that. Just because a book, you know, I do think it's a skill. I do think it's harder to finish a book than it is to finish a movie. Obviously, it takes longer. But that doesn't make you superior. There's a lot of trash books out there. Probably most books that are read are pretty trashy. And that's okay, too. But, you know, somebody out there, oh, I don't watch movies, I read books. Oh, what are you reading? Twilight, New Dawn? Oh, what are you watching? Battleship Potemkin? You know, there's trash movies, there's trash books, and if you like trash media, that's fine. I mean, you're watching me, so obviously you don't. I was like, do I go with the cell phone, or is that too close to home? I'm just saying, there's a very famous quote as well. Dude, we should have taken the one makes you largers on this one. We could have gotten the other achievement. Maybe we still could. Let's hope against hope. There's another very famous quote. It's from a director by the name of John Waters. And it says, you know, if you go home with somebody in an adult situation and they don't have books, don't sleep with them. What's wrong with you? So they don't read. Get over it. I don't know who made you, you know, this hot stuff that, you know, oh, hey, I was into you until I found out the only books on your bookshelf are, you know, technical novels about how to program in functional languages. Like, I just don't understand why you would be, like, it makes you sound so petty. Now, obviously, if you're, like, the most important thing in your life is reading. You go home with somebody who's not a reader, it might not be, you know, the best choice for a long-term partner, but, you know, you take it from a married man. There's more important things for a marriage than just shared hobbies. It helps, but, you know, how do you communicate with one another? How do you get along? What do you want for dinner? No, anything's fine with me. What do you want for dinner? Sure, that sounds good. I'll order it, you know? It's not like you're really limiting your own options and outing yourself as kind of a snob. The quote, when I first read that quote, I was probably like 15, and I was like, hell yeah. When I got older, I was like, why would you why would you want your most famous quote? And I got no problems with the John Waters movies. I just don't know why you would make your most famous quote something that seems to reflect very poorly on yourself by being like... It's not even like about leading them on or anything like that. It's more just like, oh, I went home and you didn't have any vegetables in your fridge. I'm leaving. What does it matter? Obviously you had a connection, you know, 45 minutes ago. Going to my home just to judge me? You get out. I'm not going to delirium. Don't be insane. Anyway, thanks for watching. Unless you're Shailene Woodley. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. That was a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Follow me on Twitch as well. Twitch.tv/Northernlion to be notified when I go live in the future. But for now, though, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya!